welcome everyone. We switch seamlessly now to the roundtable discussion on COVID-19 adjustments. This is going to be a very interesting discussion, I think. The aim is to have 2 rounds of discussion. The first is on the constraints and opportunities that the pandemic presented to the Second Chance programme. And the second is on the huge topic of online learning and the move to online. And it's really exciting to be able to hear all your experiences. There's such a wealth of lessons learned and experiences that I'm looking forward to hearing about. Also, just to mention, if you haven't already done so, I would really recommend the videos that are available or will be available on Tendify. One is the video on COVID-19 adjustments across the programme, which is about 15 minutes, and the others are the recorded sessions of the Chile and India experiences, and all 3 videos are treasure troves of useful information and tips and useful ideas. So I would urge you to watch them if you haven't already done so. Just to introduce myself, I'm Penny Holtzman. I work in the UN Women Global Second Chance team, and I support anything to do with content, Calibri, the e-portal, e-learning across the 6 countries. So again, welcome, and especially welcome to our friends in Australia, who should by all rights be in bed. So hello, especially to Sisterworks and Real Futures. It's lovely that you've given up your sleep and your evening to be with us. So I think we'll kick off. We'll start perhaps with Australia. Just to repeat the format, we will have a round of discussions, firstly on the good, the bad and the surprising things that the pandemic has brought. So what has been the impact on entrepreneurship opportunities, job opportunities, the demand for social support, life skills training, and any other impacts. And then we will move on to the online learning. So may I ask either Sisterworks or Real Futures in Australia to kick off? We only have it's just a few minutes really for each country, because we want to include as much participation as possible. So apologies in advance if I have to cut you off. But don't take that personally. Sisterworks, I don't know if Mamiko or...
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's Mamiko here. Hi, everybody. This is Mamiko from Sisterworks. I'm head of Empowerment Hubs at Sisterworks. So we support refugee, migrant, asylum seeker women in Melbourne, in Australia, to develop their skills, life skills, basic skills, also pathways programs, English, computer skills, to for further pathways, including employment and entrepreneurship, further education. So during the pandemic, I think the situation was similar to what other countries were experiencing. Of course, constraints were very much the same. Lots of business went down. Lots of people lost their jobs. We also had our staff hours cut as well, but we were working more because luckily, entrepreneurship point of view, we started making masks, face masks, and our women made a lot of masks at the time of October 2020. I think we counted about 60,000 face masks sold, and then we made probably double amount of that. So our model is a woman learn the sewing skills and make those products, and then we sell, and the woman gets paid from the revenue that we gain. So as a social enterprise business, we grew, fortunately, when lots of small businesses were closing down at the time. So from that, we had lot of partnerships have been built, and lots of organizations were also supporting a similar cohort of the women who are migrant and refugee, who has that background, were sending their women to us to gain these opportunities. So lots of partnerships have been built during this time, and then we had about in 1 month in July, for example, about 100 women just flushed into our system and wanting to learn the skills, wanting to learn how to make face masks and join this big opportunity. So we were working tirelessly around that time. The constraints obviously were, the logistics and then all this, because we couldn't travel far away. Our lockdown in Australia, especially Melbourne, was quite harsh, and so it was very restrictive. The movement was restrictive. So even we started delivering sewing machines to our women because we never done home production before. But that's another opportunity that we sort of expanded to ourselves, that we trust the woman to do production at their home environment. So that's something that changed our business model as well. And then we continued doing that even now. So that pushed us to work on this opportunity. Yeah, I don't know, Penny, if I have more. I thought I had only 3 minutes or so. Or
yes, no, that's brilliant. I mean, we could talk all afternoon about your experience, but thank you so much. Yeah, that's so lovely to hear about the positive things that have come out of your experience as well. And if perhaps, Renee, would you mind talking for a few minutes about the Real Futures experience?
Sure. Thanks, Penny, and hi, everyone. Yeah, similar to SisterWorks, I guess the pandemic struck here about March 2020, right when we were about to launch our program, which was quite challenging. So we had to adapt and have a virtual launch, which was quite interesting, pulling all the people together to actually video and have the launch online, but it was quite successful nonetheless. Again, in terms of attracting women into the hub, there were a series of lockdowns in the area, so we had to adapt how we got women to engage and become members of the hub. So we had to adapt our registration processes to an online format as well. A lot of our staff spent a lot of time on phones and on social media as well. We found we utilised social media quite a lot throughout the course of the program, especially for promoting what courses we were running at the hub and connecting with women online that way as well. We find that most of the women do have access to technology, so that did make it a little easier for us to engage. However, yeah, the running online courses was difficult because it was difficult to explain Calibri over the phone in that context of how to utilize Calibri. So when restrictions eased, we started to have small groups, limited numbers come in to show people how to use that platform. In terms of entrepreneurship, similarly to Sister Works, while there wasn't, I guess, great offerings just generally in terms of financing and things for people at that time, most things were directed towards COVID initiatives, but we did have women who similarly went into the sewing courses that we were running and engaged with another sister company of ours, which is a social enterprise, to sell their product online. So the same as Sister Works, they were making masks and selling those during the COVID period. Is that enough, Penny?
Yeah, that's fantastic, Renee. Thank you. Yeah, it's interesting to hear about your experience, because you have a very kind of strong, personalized approach to welcoming women into the program, which it sounds like you managed to maintain to some extent just through other media, but remotely, you know, by phone and social media and so on. So lovely. Yeah, just to repeat, if you have questions for anyone, do enter them in the chat while we're talking. And if we can move on to Cameroon now, do we have, I see Yolande joined, or anyone from Cameroon who could give their perspective on the good, the bad, and the surprising from the pandemic? I'm trying to see who's here from Cameroon.
Hello.
Ah, Yolande, hello.
Oui, c'est Yolande et Joséphine.
Ah, hello.
So, I had a workshop, so I'm just coming in. So we want to find out about the constraints.
Yes, please. If we can hear what your experience in Cameroon of the impact of the pandemic on the program and how you responded, how it was affected in good ways, and maybe the opportunities that arose as well.
Okay, so like everyone, it's very challenging dealing with the pandemic. It was so scary from the onset, but thank God, right up till now, we haven't had any sad events, and we just keeping guard. And surprisingly, we can say we came up with survival strategies. We resorted to using larger spaces because the beneficiaries of Second Chance are part of the Family and Women's Empowerment Center. So when we have cases where there are many, we resort to using outdoor spaces in order to respect social distancing and physical distancing. And the ministry gave us some equipment to fight the pandemic. Second Chance as well made us acquire like thermoflashes, makeshift buckets for hand washing, so that at every place or every stop, the numerous beneficiaries could wash their hands. Second Chance also went as far as purchasing hand sanitizers and face masks. But as time went on, you know, our target population is, we can't really say put on the mask every day. Oh, I've forgotten the mask at home and all of that. So we realized that we needed to teach them. Those who are doing tailoring, they went into sewing, and the sewed, I don't know if I had a sample, I would have shown you guys. Very, 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 very beautiful face masks. I'm sure when we go through the videos, you see some of them wearing the face mask. So went as far as producing this face mask And the council came once asking the beneficiaries to sew this face mask and supply. So COVID has brought us an income generating activity. And we also got into producing a gel. It is true we can't really get the fragrance that we find in other gels elsewhere coming from the US or somewhere, but we have also learned, we have also taught the beneficiaries how to produce gel, and this also can be commercialized. So we had some few constraints. I think for now, that is what the Cameroon team and especially the Betua team has been doing right till date. I don't know whether there's something else.
Thank you, Josephine. Thank you, Josephine. That's really interesting. May I just ask you what impact the small businesses, what impact the COVID had on the small businesses? Because the Cameroon program is fantastic in providing startup kits in all sorts of different areas, tailoring, poultry, agriculture. Were the women still able to take those businesses forward and to make money from those activities?
Yeah, it was a kind of paralysis everywhere. The scare was everywhere. Things died down. But since we didn't really have many casualties, things are coming back gradually. And there are small businesses. We are just hoping, we are talking about a third pandemic that is coming around. We are just hoping things kicked up a little bit. We hope they are going to continue in this way and they will get back to their normal activities, because we didn't really have a complete lockdown, but many of the small businesses could not really thrive in an economy that was very scary. Many things were low key. So I think they are picking up gradually.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I can see Char there as well. Char, do you have anything to add to that?
Hello, Penny, and hello, everyone. What I can add to what Madame Josephine said is our beneficiaries faced a lot of difficulties when it came to their mini stores, because we had borders were closed, and so prices of the goods and the services had to increase. So the benefits they used to make during the open time was that they could not sell more and make more benefits. So we had to reorientate them into the transformation of agricultural products like groundnut, which we train them on how to extract oil or vegetable oil from the groundnut product, which we had to use it to sell. So this brought a little bit of income to compensate what they were losing on the small store business.
That's interesting. Thank you. So did that mean new training that you had to provide? Did you have to?
We had to train them. Use some women were already versed with the transformation of vegetable oil from groundnut. We had to use them to train the other women.
Very interesting. Thank you, Char. I think we will move on to Jordan. If Suhaib or Fatou.
Hi, this is Fatou. Answer this question. Yeah. Actually, it was in the pandemic was almost in the beginning of our intervention with women. Luckily, we had the central workshop where we trained them on Calibri, and they had some physical classes with vulnerable women who are targeted in this project. Suddenly the pandemic happened, so we have to to change the model of our intervention, and also to fit with the status of the pandemic, and to fit with the local community context that we are working in. Usually young female are not able to turn their education into employment or to get higher income for themselves or to be productive. And under COVID-19, it becomes harder because most of them are working in informal sector, and even they had difficulty to retain the income because they had to also customize their time to help their family, to help elder people in their family, to help their children in school. So they are socially excluded, and the pandemic also added the social and economical burden. But at the same time, we feel that it gave them an opportunity to change their business model from traditional business model to social marketing, try to explore what opportunities they have, especially with the online schooling for their children. They get explored to the technology, what that means, how we can go to the Google, what is Facebook, Teams, and to go to the other digital platforms to help their children. So that was an opportunity to increase their sensitivity towards the importance of of the project that they are engaged in. They asked more about life skills because of the social status was unstable, and the GBV increased during pandemic. They wanted life skills also to deal and to be more engaged with their children. And for their psychological health, they demand also the healthcare programs, which Colibri also have. They value how important they know how to be digital, to have digital literacy and financial literacy. And how they can benefit from Colibri and other issues. And they begin to search that we have this in the Colibri, but we want more. They ask for, so we have now to work on update their needs according to the new status. And when we finalize the updated needs, we will work with them to know which training will be added to the digital platform. As one of the women, for example, goes to the digital marketing. She said that it's even easier than go to the market and find who will take my products. By a Facebook page, I can market my products, and without having this COVID-19, she will continue by in previous traditional way of marketing. Now we are digitalized the financial and how a material on how a woman can financially and administratively run her own project, and also some material on digital marketing. And we will work also with them on some products that can that she can promote and market while she is at her house.
That's really interesting. Could you just say what sort of small businesses the women are involved in?
Yeah, actually, we have to work with them to in future to let them respond to the market more, because now their productions are very traditional, like embroiderment, you know, some clothes, painting on the rocks, accessories. So something is traditional. For example, here when I hear my colleagues saying about reducing masks, it's a good idea, and you know it's a new. So we have to work more into. They also work on cooking, for example, something that it's still traditional. So even the pandemic, and we help them to change the business model about marketing issue, but we have to work with them to think out of the box and to produce more products that is appealing to the people, and it's not traditional, so they can find other markets.
Yeah, gotcha. I'm sure that resonates with other countries as well. So thank you for that's fantastic. I wonder if we can turn to Mexico and either Sarahi or Elsa from Pro Sociedad. Could you give a Mexican perspective?
No, está muy bien. Si les parece, iniciamos. Como ocurrió en los demás países, en general la economía se vio fuertemente afectada. Hubo un importante cierre de negocios y muchas personas perdieron su empleo. Particularmente dentro del programa, cuando llegó la pandemia en marzo, nosotras estábamos impulsando los talleres de oficios, y en ese momento, hasta antes de las pandemias, cuando las mujeres aprendían a elaborar algún producto u ofertar algún servicio en el marco de los talleres de oficios, podían ya iniciar a vender, ¿no? Entonces, por ejemplo, hay un taller donde se hacen macetas de cemento y las mujeres ya vendían sus macetas, o inclusive las que iban al taller de cocina, por ejemplo, y aprendían a hacer postres, el mismo día en el que producían, podían ya generar ingresos de la venta de esos productos, y les estaba yendo relativamente bien. Y lo que sucede con la pandemia, pues es que la economía se ve afectada y las ventas disminuyeron. Inclusive en los casos más graves, hubo mujeres que pues desertaron del programa y tuvieron que emplearse. Sin embargo, en ocasiones pues eran empleos precarios que generaban ingresos de subsistencia, pero no permitían la movilidad social. Entonces sí hubo un fuerte reto en términos de que los emprendimientos generaran ingresos, y que aquellos que generaran ingresos pues realmente fueran ingresos que permitían que no solamente subsistir, sino mejorar la situación de vida. Eso fue un gran reto en el marco de la pandemia. Y también la calidad del empleo, porque en general en México hay un tema con el empleo donde no es que no haya empleo, sino una buena parte del empleo que existe es empleo precario. Entonces muchas de las condiciones de los trabajos también se precarizaron, y muchas de las mujeres que participaban del programa y empezaron a trabajar pues eran en trabajos de estas condiciones. Y bueno, también pues en general levantamos un diagnóstico, identificamos que en general los ingresos de los hogares habían disminuido, y dado que había participantes con familias que no podían cubrir todos los gastos, por ejemplo, de alimentos o de renta, lo que se hizo ahí fue vinculación con otras instituciones que daban servicios de apoyo complementario. Entonces, por ejemplo, a quienes más se necesitaban, se llegaron a entregar despensas, o en los casos donde incrementaron situaciones de abuso o violencia, se vinculaba con instituciones que atienden o previenen estas situaciones, un poco para sopesar o mitigar barreras que se agravaron en el marco de la pandemia. Y bueno, eso pues a su vez nos permitió empezar a documentar el proceso, y ahora ya se está fortaleciendo para seguir impulsando ese tipo de vinculaciones. Entonces, la verdad es que la situación fue bastante retadora mientras estuvimos en plena pandemia, porque además con el cierre de los centros, pues era difícil continuar con las capacitaciones en el esquema presencial, que es como funciona originalmente. Y bueno, ya más recientemente, hacia noviembre, diciembre del 2020, los centros empezaron a reabrir, y más o menos en enero fue que la situación empezó a regularizarse, es decir, volvimos a aperturar los talleres, y ahora estamos ya trabajando en modelos para fortalecer nuevamente los negocios, de manera que puedan tener ya logo, marca, canales de distribución, y puedan empezar nuevamente a vender sus productos. Entonces, al igual que en el caso de Camerún, pues parece ser que ya está mejorando la economía, están reabriendo los pequeños negocios, y empieza a haber oportunidades para la venta de los productos y servicios de las mujeres que están en talleres de oficios, aunque la cosa va todavía un poco lenta. Creo que el gran aprendizaje ha sido pues innovar, ser súper flexibles a la situación, y entonces poder encontrar mercados en los que, y productos o servicios en los que, aún con la situación retadora, pues pueda seguir habiendo canales de venta, porque sigue existiendo un mercado que compre de esos productos. Me voy a detener aquí y paso la palabra a Elsa, que es también parte del equipo en México, de Prosociedad, que estuvo también trabajando en el impulso de los emprendimientos. No sé, Elsa, si quieras añadir algo más.
Sí, gracias. Solo rápidamente decir que también una oportunidad que hubo es, al menos en Jalisco, en México, como socias implementadoras, una de las organizaciones trabaja con los actores locales, ¿no? Entonces también un eje de trabajo que se impulsó fue, por un lado, a través de este diagnóstico que se hizo rápidamente, identificado los recursos que tenían las mujeres para poder continuar con capacitaciones a distancia, y eso nos permitió al mismo tiempo acelerar el desarrollo de otras capacitaciones que pudimos incorporar a Colibrí, que con ciertas adaptaciones que nos permitían pues trabajar de mejor forma a distancia. Y al mismo tiempo impulsamos una agenda de capacitación a las formadoras que trabajan con las mujeres, de forma que también tuvieran ellas mismas, que en muchos casos son también formadoras comunitarias, tuvieran herramientas para trabajar a distancia, pudieran además incorporar de forma mucho más importante la perspectiva de género, por ejemplo, en el caso de México, como en muchos otros, pero el aumento de la violencia en casa fue un aumento muy rápido y muy alto en los tiempos de pandemia. Entonces también esas eran ejes a considerar. Por ejemplo, era muy importante poder introducir las capacitaciones dando algunas indicaciones o sugerencias para poder estar en un espacio seguro, por ejemplo, ¿no? Tomar la capacitación en casa y tomar la capacitación en el centro era algo que no podíamos obviar. Entonces, también digamos que en el eje de trabajo con formadoras, con organizaciones, también nos permitió desarrollar algunas herramientas a incorporar para poder trabajar a distancia de manera efectiva. Y también robustecer los procesos de acompañamiento, de mentoría, de llamadas, para ver fuera, digamos, de los espacios de capacitación, también seguir monitoreando las necesidades, si el aprendizaje estaba siendo significativo de esa manera, y así poder ir ajustando también sobre la marcha.
Thank you. That's brilliant. And I know Mexico, you have a huge amount of experience in online learning. So we will come back to you in the second round, because I think we have a lot to learn from your experiences. But if we can now move to Chile, I think Acción Emprendedora and InfoCap will be able to talk about the Chile experience. I know for those of us who watched who were in the Chile session yesterday, it was fantastic. So yeah, maybe just a summary of some of what you shared yesterday would be brilliant.
Hola Penny, buenos días. Hola a todos, ¿cómo están? Un placer estar acá en este panel. Mi nombre es Natalie Traverso, yo soy coordinadora de Acción Emprendedora para el programa Tu Oportunidad, o CSE. Bueno, muy contenta de estar acá, poder compartir la experiencia nuestra en lo que ha sido enfrentar este programa en pandemia, ¿cierto? Es una cosa que nos sorprendió a todos y todos sobre la marcha al final tuvimos que adaptarnos a hacer este programa. Es bien interesante ver las experiencias del resto de los países, que hay muchos puntos que concuerdan. Las mujeres y nosotros mismos como las tutoras, las mentoras tuvieron que adaptarse a hacer 100% el programa online que hoy día lo estamos haciendo en Chile. Uno de los principales desafíos en ese sentido fue, por supuesto, capacitar a las mujeres en el uso de plataformas online. No todas tenían una gran familiaridad con estas plataformas, Meet, Zoom, entonces hubo que hacer un trabajo bien importante previo, por llamarlo así, al programa de capacitarlas, o sea, de poder llamarlas una a una, explicarles las distintas funcionalidades, de prender la cámara, apagar el micrófono, y eso fue un desafío porque nadie estaba muy acostumbrado a ocupar estas plataformas de reunión virtual. Pero fue tuvo muy buena recepción, las mujeres fueron muy receptivas, pusieron todo de su parte, lo mismo para poder aprender a usar Colibrí, que también ha sido un desafío hacer que las mujeres puedan ingresar a esta plataforma, manejarse ahí, tratar de familiarizarse con el tema de e-learning, que pienso que el tema de aprender y capacitarse por internet en cuarentena ha sido una de las grandes ventajas, entre comillas, de la pandemia, porque al estar más tiempo en casa, podemos utilizar ese tiempo para poder capacitarnos todos, y también las mujeres del programa Tu Oportunidad, de poder capacitarse a lo mejor en otro periodo que no lo hubiesen hecho porque hubieran tenido que estar trabajando tal vez en un trabajo físico, entonces fue una ventaja en ese sentido poder ocupar ese tiempo en capacitación desde las casas. Por otra parte, en el tema de los emprendimientos, muy similar a lo que ocurrió en otros países. Las mujeres, muchas de ellas perdieron sus trabajos en pandemia porque cerraron fábricas, cerraron industrias, pero tuvieron que reinventarse. Y en esa reinvención, muchas de ellas vieron oportunidades de negocio, por ejemplo, talleres de costura, por el mismo tema de las mascarillas, de repente comida para llevar a delivery, una serie de oportunidades que se fueron detectando en el mercado chileno y que varias de las mujeres las recogieron y las tomaron, y que comenzaron tal vez como un emprendimiento de subsistencia, por llamarlo así, para poder generar ingresos durante la pandemia. Y este programa les ha dado las herramientas para poder profesionalizar este negocio y que ojalá, y por qué no, que sea sostenible en el tiempo, que pueda mantenerse más allá de lo que dure la pandemia. En ese sentido, bueno, también basado ya más allá del emprendimiento, bueno, un paréntesis, gran parte de las mujeres que llegan hacia nosotros optan por emprendimiento, diría que más o menos el 70%, el interés de emprendimiento. Y probablemente eso tenga que ver con el contexto que estamos viviendo, que es como es el camino un poco más expedito para generar ingresos en los hogares, por llamarlo así, y por eso probablemente optan en gran mayoría por ese interés, para poder potenciar sus emprendimientos que en este momento son de subsistencia, pero ¿por qué no? Muchos de ellos tienen proyección para poder mantenerse en el tiempo y consolidarse como un ingreso familiar y un trabajo permanente. Por otra parte, también en empleabilidad también se han visto oportunidades interesantes. Las mujeres también, si bien antes de la pandemia buscar trabajo vía online, por llamarlo así, estaba posicionándose importantemente, hoy en pandemias es la forma de buscar trabajo. Entonces, a través también de los cursos de empleabilidad, hemos potenciado un poco el tema de ese, o sea, cómo buscar trabajo por internet, potenciar LinkedIn, estamos incluyendo muchos contenidos en relación a cómo utilizar esta herramienta, otras plataformas de búsqueda de trabajo por internet, elaborar un buen discurso, una serie de herramientas que uno le puede dar a las mujeres que buscan empleabilidad para ya cuando se reactive el mercado, que puedan insertarse positivamente en el mercado laboral. En Chile ya estamos viendo, con los altos índices de vacunación, una cierta reactivación, si bien los casos no han bajado 100% todavía, pero pensamos que va hacia allá, entonces se están generando nuevos puestos de trabajo y es un camino que esperamos que se termine de consolidar. Bueno, y estamos en un momento hoy día de consolidación de todos los procesos del programa, avanzando bien con las mujeres, la creación de grupos, tenemos un ritmo interesante de inscritas en el programa, hay bastante interés, hemos tenido más de 1000 mujeres interesadas de alguna u otra manera en participar en el programa, y bueno, y avanzando en ese sentido, ya con los procesos online bastante interiorizados y ya avanzando en esta segunda etapa. Eso, Penny, no sé si tiene alguna pregunta o eso por nuestro lado.
Thank you very much. I don't know, Sophia, I think you're from InfoCap. I don't know if you have anything to add.
Hola, soy Belén y yo soy de InfoCap. Sí.
Oh, excuse me.
Sí, no te preocupes. En realidad solo para continuar y no alargarnos demasiado, como tú mencionabas ayer, ya tuvimos una intervención, ¿cierto?, en donde explicábamos algunas de las modificaciones que tuvimos que hacer al programa para poder vincularnos mejor con las mujeres en los procesos digitales de educación, que son bien complejos, y también con la población objetivo que ya hemos destacado. Desde ahí viene el proceso de acompañamiento, que es una parte esencial de los resultados bastante óptimos que hemos tenido en el programa, de poder estar con las mujeres enfrentándose a los momentos difíciles de la pandemia, sobre todo desde un contexto de personalizar la educación en línea, que es bastante complejo, y también entendiendo que la pandemia por sí misma generó mucha presión, como ya mencionaron antes, en la capacidad de las mujeres de poder salir a buscar trabajo, porque tuvieron que tomar ellas el peso de los cuidados de todas las personas que quedaron en las casas, como es en Chile y en la mayor parte al menos de Latinoamérica y el Caribe. En ese sentido, los procesos de acompañamiento en un principio, sobre todo de la pandemia, cuando esto era muy estresante para las familias chilenas, se tradujeron en que las tutoras eran también un gran soporte personal para las mujeres, un medio de escapatoria, una forma de poder sentir que avanzaban en este modo de encierro. En ese sentido fue muy, muy importante. Por otro lado, en términos del programa y en lo positivo que podemos rescatar de todas las dificultades que hemos encontrado, está el tema de que en un principio, dado el factor territorial que tenía el programa, que se concentraba en algunas comunas de la región, y también con un público objetivo más bien joven, teníamos como más limitantes que se fueron saliendo a medida que dijimos, mira, este es un programa digital, no tenemos por qué poner restricciones territoriales, y tampoco tenemos por qué restarle a mujeres que hoy día necesitan estos espacios. Entonces nos dieron la posibilidad de ONU Mujeres de poder ampliar la cobertura a toda mujer que quisiera tomar la capacitación y enfrentarse a estos nuevos desafíos. Y desde ahí hemos notado que las mujeres que postulan al programa son personas que no han tenido otras posibilidades de capacitación, que buscan y que no han sido escogidas principalmente porque no pueden salir de sus hogares por tener que cuidar, porque no son priorizadas en otros contextos de capacitación. Entonces, mucho de lo que hemos podido rescatar de este proceso es que las mujeres se encuentran aquí su primera instancia para reconectar con la educación, y desde ahí se cumple el objetivo central del programa, ¿cierto? Que es que la mujer detecte acá un espacio en donde puede reconectar y volverse a empapar de lo que es la educación, de que pueden aprender, de que pueden romper esa barrera. Por eso es tan importante el acompañamiento y es tan importante nunca cerrarles la puerta. Si ellas quieren seguir, les damos más tiempo. Si ellas quieren continuar, les damos las oportunidades, porque si ellas pierden esta oportunidad, lo más probable es que no vuelvan a conectarse con la educación. Entonces, desde ahí, este programa, con la flexibilidad que tiene y con la posibilidad de mejora continua que hemos podido integrar, ha sido muy positivo, y el contexto COVID le ha dado una fuerza particular porque tuvimos la posibilidad de adaptarnos muy rápido a lo digital. Eso tenía para agregar a lo que ya habían dicho.
Thank you very much, Belen. That's really great points you made. And I think you also touch on something that we will bring forward in the online learning discussion, which is the challenge of giving that personalized and hand-holding support to women, but in an online environment, in online learning. But if we can move to India, I think Monisha and Anil will be able to share something on the India experience. And then we will talk more about online learning.
Thank you. Hi. So basically, our experience specific to pandemic is not very different from what my different colleagues from different countries are saying right now. So basically, at the onset of the pandemic, the first wave of C-19, it happened like, all of a sudden some unknown things came, and there were fear of unknown all everywhere. So thousands of migrants came back from cities to the villages, and with declaration of pandemic, like lockdown suddenly, when many of the rural households were not even ready with storing of sufficient food grains for them, sufficient food for them, and at the same time, the farmers, the women farmers, they couldn't even sell their produces, means the Rabi crop and the summer crop. That was the time when the lockdown was declared, so they couldn't even access the market. So the agriculture produce got blocked, and that could not be sold at a fair price. So very soon, with increased number of heads at the household level, the households actually lost all their surpluses, and they had to face a severe challenges in terms of financial, not having much financial resources at their hand. And at the skill ecosystem, almost all the skill training centers got closed, and many employment opportunities also got shut down, and many lost jobs. And in the off-farm enterprises also, since in the rural area, agriculture is the mainstay of many households' livelihood, and since the number of businesses they already have in the existing scenario were very less, so altogether there was a situation of serious crunch of financial resources at the village, at the context of village society. And in the micro environment, the financial institutions were not pretty much ready to give credit to the women, with a fear of not getting those loans or the credit back, because there were dearth of financial resources at the household sense, that they came to know. So at this situation, we started replanning about how alternatively things can be looked at, and how alternatively things can be thought of. So we soon revisited our plan. We saw with a kind of clear message that there were constraints in terms of accessing skill-based employment. We increased our target around the on-farm and off-farm enterprises. And, even if there were so many challenges at the village context, but a few things also worked as a strength, like, the village society or the women, they had an utmost urgencies at their end to do something good, to do something significant from the firm-based enterprise and also the off-farm enterprises. And at the same time, there were increased number of laborers available at the village society, because they had to come back from the distant cities to their villages. So taking all two of these things as a strength, we had actually got into replanning of things. We increased our target for small businesses, like things around home and cottage industries, and other localized, contextualized prototypes for off-farm enterprise development. And at the same time, parallelly, our field teams, means the implementing partners at the district level, they started responding to the crisis through distribution of ration kits, even health kits like masks, sanitizers, and all this. And also they were into mass awareness building among communities, so that the people at the village level will be able to understand about what is this new disease all about, and how one can take a safety measure out of this thing. And so parallelly, our focus on keeping our efforts around the program and also responding to the crisis situation was on. And then soon we got a sense that the pandemic is slowly getting declined. I mean the lockdown after the first wave was slowly coming down. We started bringing more farmers into the on-farm enterprise development component, and many contextualized prototypes which were worthy of giving significant income to households were conceptualized and strongly demonstrated with the pool of the women farmers, and approximately 8,500 women farmers were not just given with improved training around improved agriculture practices. They were also given support around market linkage so that they can get support around both input procurement and also can sell their produce at fair prices. And at the end of December 2020, we can say that 60% of those farmers could earn they could just double their income through intense engagement around on-farm enterprise activities and agro-processing activities. And parallelly, we tried to map things around localized trades for off-farm enterprises, and then also after December, since many training institutes also started opening, we tried to motivate again the young girls and women for going back to the training centers for skill-based trainings and grab the opportunities around skill-based employment. During the second wave, to be precise, like the rural communities were intense, like the impact of second wave to the rural community was more than that of the first wave. This time, more number of casualties happened at the rural areas, and more number of cases of C19, like more number of C19 cases were coming up from different villages. So we had to, and this time, though there were no crisis of much ration and all this, but then community were in need of help in terms of health. Like they didn't know which are the different medicines to take, how to measure the oxygen level, and so on and so forth. So this time our field units has really worked hard to quickly conceptualize things around how to help by taking the help of mainstream workers like ASHA workers, A&M sister. In India's context, they are very crucial for the rural areas. So with the help of these pool, they have really gone to the community to help them with the medicine kits, with distribution of some of the medical implements like oximeter, thermometer, instrument for thermal check, like thermal scanning and all these things. And at the end, I think the situation is now slowly getting better. And even though the impact of the second wave was more than that of first wave for the rural community, but this time communities are little bit more confident to deal with the situation. Even we, the staff's pool, are more confident and little bit more courageous to deal the situation. So parallelly, we tried to respond to the health situation, and at the same time we kept our programmatic component alive. Like for example, we continued with our online training around employment component, so that those women who had to come back due to lockdown posed by the second wave to their home, they do not go back. We tried to make sure that they do not go back to the original way of thinking. So we tried to run the online training continuously during the peak of the lockdown period even, and it has caused many positive results, like that they have got training around how to face the employer, how to talk to the clients, how to prepare a good curriculum vitae, how to operate computer. So in one hand they got such trainings, and in another hand they are now aspiring to go more distant places for searching for employment opportunities, which are not the case earlier. Earlier they were fearful. They are always looking for job opportunities within their state's boundary. They wanted to be placed locally. But this time, because of such kind of motivational training and life skills training, they now say, let this lockdown be just over, we will go back to our training centers and we will complete our training and do the job. Like the example you saw just in the previous session, the Roji Begum, she did not come back during the lockdown also. She did not be she was not fearful about it. She said, I'll continue with my job. And even in the lockdown period, our girls from far-flung villages, from different districts, they went back to they went to distant place like South India, where they are doing job in textile industries. So these are some of the facts. And in off-farm enterprises, even in lockdown, we tried to map few those women who are in the stage of who are in the stage of easy to adopt a business activity, and then accordingly we devised our modules for giving them support around technology, finance, market and capacity building, so that they could take up business activities even in the peak of the lockdown period. And one of the most positive thing is, even if our learners pool by the end of this is almost the end of the pilot phase, and they have already got the news that they are going to be promoted to after like that the 10th standard or 12th standard examination for which they have registered, but they are not stopping. Many of them are coming forward that if I have passed 10th standard today, I want to register myself for like 12th standard, and so on and so forth. So this journey, it's just a beginning, and then many of them are saying that yeah, we are going to go far. And thank you very much. And I will say, even though pandemic was very painful for many of us, for all of us, but it has also gave us a lot of learning which we can use for our future endeavor. Thank you so much. And we have started learning to operate online, to this we have started operating really in an efficient manner, and we are 24/7 on it, thinking how alternatively things can be thought about. Yeah, thank you so much. And sorry if I have taken maybe a little bit more time. Thank you.
Thank you, Monisha. That's
and with this, yeah, and my colleague Anil will also come in. Maybe he will also
thank you, Monisha. I will just
if the time permits.
I'll just put a pause on that at the moment, because I'm really conscious of the time. It's now 11 o'clock in Australia time. That was a fantastic summary of the India experience and how you've made the most of changes really at the grassroots and the village level. But it does give a really nice segue into the online learning subject, and I'm afraid we've only got 30 minutes left. But if I can just move back to Australia, who will by now be in their pajamas. But Mamiko, I'm really keen for you to share a bit about the SisterWorks experience in online learning, if you're still with us.
Yes. Thank you, Penny.
And fully dressed, you're not even in your pajamas yet.
I already had my night shower before bed. Yeah, so for online, well, of course, we had I think everybody here had the same experience on moving onto online, and how difficult it was, digital literacy gaps and so on. So those are sort of the same. I think, to put you in the context, the woman that we are targeting, the SisterWorks is targeting here in Australia is the people who come here as migrant and refugees. So they don't have community. They don't have a lot of times they don't have family around. They don't have friends around. So it's more marginalized and isolated. So that's a very big sort of common issue that most of women have. And we have an open policy to receive everybody. So and a lot of the governments, so Australia governments, have lots of services for these type of women, not only women, but migrants and refugees. However, they have a lot of the programs have certain sort of criteria to be a beneficial for those services. But we fill in those gaps, so we accept everybody who comes to SisterWorks to provide our support. So as a consequence, we have a tendency for the women to fall out of the system, join at SisterWorks, and we treat them equally, regardless of visa type, where they come from. And we have lots of women who have family duties still, so maybe they might not be ready for full-time job to go back to full-time job. Some have professional experience, but a lot of people don't have any particular skills. So to do online, so that's so the second chance education with UN Women gave us opportunity to sort of serve those people who have missed out this opportunity. So that's the context, no? The challenges are the same, like the logistics of learning about the digital skills and so on. But we made it really easy for the women. So we took the platform that works for our women. So we have a control. So the women don't have to do anything when the class starts. So we have lots of live online classes with the teachers in a group session. So it was creating that community, replicating that community online, where at SisterWorks is normally providing in a physical hub. So that was sort of the main thing. Rather than self-guiding learning, we created a group environment, community environment to learn skills together during this online, especially during the pandemic time. The online classes demand increased because, as somebody have already mentioned, nothing else to do, and then it's a good time to learn things. And also a lot of women were looking for this sense of community belonging, so they wanted to meet our friends again online. So they were eager to learn this new platform of learning method. But interestingly, we have this well-being classes, for example, teaching yoga, doing group counseling, psychology type of classes. They become really, really popular. So during that time, we were providing 60 to 70 classes per month, including those sort of well-being classes. And mental well-being was very important topic during that pandemic time, because I mean, to start with, these women are very isolated and marginalized, and now, it's even more because we couldn't go out at all. So it was a big issue, sort of in general in Australia. And the videos, and so how we made the videos, of course we had to make lots of face mask production videos, and then also live sessions, and through Second Chance Education program, we were fortunate to be able to develop our own app on mobile phones. So slowly we moved into that platform to provide online live sessions, as well as lots of video contents for the women to learn from. And some women, but at the same time, some of the issues, and then this is something that we want to review and work on, is the quality of learning, because we have a lot of craft related, very the sort of, you need to learn generally you need to learn face to face. It's hard, is that things are hard to learn online. So we have lots of topics like that. So the quality, when we went back to physical face-to-face sessions, and then sometimes we find that it wasn't as good as, some women didn't learn as much as we expected to. So this is the quality of learning. How to ensure that is a big sort of learning or challenge that we want to improve more. Also, we had to accept the fact that some group of women never moved to online, and because of different reasons, age and just familiarity. And we asked support from their family. We even talked with their sons and daughters and helped them out. But still, we had to acknowledge that. And then as soon as we went back to face, those are the group of women who came back, rushed back to physical hub. So it's about, for us, it's about this providing different options for the women to participate in our training program. So that's and then online is one of big new options for our women. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mamiko. There may be some people in this session who aren't aware of the huge syllabus that SisterWorks has been working on over the past year, 18 months. And you know, I do encourage you to get in touch with us or with SisterWorks directly on Attendify to find out more about their system of content production and about the app that they've developed. Renee, just very quickly, do you have any burning points that you would like to make from the point of view of Real Futures? I can see we have only 50 minutes left, and I do want to get back to, for example, Mexico, because they have a lot of experience in content development. But if you have anything to share, that would be great to hear from you now.
Yeah, sure. I think that, you know, given some of the women, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander women we're dealing with in terms of their barriers and issues they've identified, a lot of those are around, you know, sort of their housing as well, overcrowded housing, and we're sort of seeing that, you know, for a lot of women, perhaps their home environment is having an impact on their take-up of online learning. Also in terms of their digital platforms, you know, while they have access to technology, it's mostly mobile phones. And I think they find Calibri a little bit challenging as well on a mobile phone. So, and again, as similar situation to SisterWorks, as restrictions have eased, you know, there's been, you know, a rush back to the hub because people, you know, wanting to get out of their houses and come and engage face to face. So, but where we have had success, like some of the others, is with around, I guess, adapting stuff around teaching women about applying for jobs. So, you know, converting some of our standard programs to an online platform, about getting ready for work. Those sorts of things have been terrific. And again, we'll be looking at, I guess, trying to adapt some of the other content that we're working on into the online environment. So if we can ease people in as they come back into the hub and I just get them used to the online platform, I think we'll see an increase.
Thank you. That's excellent. I would again point people to the Chile hub tours that are available on Attendify, and I think they would be available on the Second Chance YouTube channel as well, because they give a really good insight into the Chile use of Calibri in combination with the tutoring system that they've set up, which allows for a very supportive, personalized system of online learning. But I wonder, in the short time we have left, if there is someone from Mexico who could talk a little bit about their approach to content development and the use of Calibri, and the support that they've provided to women alongside the content itself.
Sí, claro que sí. Bueno, para nosotros fue muy importante, como ya decía Saraí, la etapa de capacitación en la que estábamos para acelerar el proceso de inclusión digital era el oficio. Entonces, eso nos dio una ventana de tiempo para sostener la capacitación de oficio, digamos, a través de plataformas digitales que ya eran familiares para las mujeres, redes sociales, básicamente replicando una capacitación en vivo. Y al mismo tiempo, pues, estudiamos mucho, muy rápido para entender cuáles eran los procesos de aprendizaje que queríamos detonar y cómo se podían lograr. En ese sentido, es importante decir que el programa acá en México tiene como principio fundamental el poner al centro a las mujeres en el diseño de cualquier solución, ¿no? Entonces, en ese sentido, lo que hicimos fue arrancar un piloto con contenidos escogidos que ya estaban en Colibrí y hacer un ejercicio de retroalimentación con las mujeres para entender, acabar de definir qué era educación de calidad para ellas en sus vidas, con sus trayectorias, y con ello poder adaptar. Parte de los aprendizajes principales que tenemos es que por un lado ya hay actores locales implementando el tipo de contenidos que nos interesaban, pero que había que adaptar y reforzar ciertas cosas. Y en ese proceso un aprendizaje muy importante es que el aprendizaje para las mismas usuarias, para las participantes, la planeación tiene que ser distinta cuando es en físico, cuando es a través de una plataforma digital asincrónicamente, e incluso diferente cuando es usando la plataforma digital, en este caso Colibrí, en físico, cuando se utiliza también en la interacción, ¿no? Entonces eso nos permitió ir afinando qué aspectos había que considerar en el desarrollo de capacitaciones, digamos, qué es lo que se podía estar perdiendo en línea y cómo podríamos integrarlo al desarrollo digital de las mismas, encontrando que algunos aspectos principales o herramientas en donde hemos encontrado principalmente algunas de las soluciones son en las técnicas de gamificación, que permiten, a pesar de estar a distancia, poder desarrollar capacitaciones que sean significativas para ellas y también complementar con otros procesos de soporte. Y el secreto siempre ha sido estar en constante comunicación con ellas, ¿no? Pilotear, preguntar, ajustar y hacer un proceso iterante hasta que se cumplan los aspectos de calidad, que serían la perspectiva de género y promover procesos significativos y adaptados a las mujeres, ¿no? Y en ese sentido, algo también importante, como ya decía, es aprovechar también los recursos locales y fortalecer esos recursos locales. Entonces, más allá de desarrollar de cero nosotras, lo que hicimos fue encontrar expertas que ya tenían ciertas capacitaciones y acompañarlas en este proceso de adaptación que nos permitiera digitalizar para entonces poder tener algunas adaptaciones disponibles en Colibrí, que en estas etapas del programa ya han demostrado ser, digamos, significativas y efectivas para ellas. Otro aspecto importante, por ejemplo, en el tema de acompañamiento, al menos en México, lo que ha funcionado mucho es seguir usando aquellas redes que son familiares para ellas. De hecho, inspiradas en la experiencia de Australia, que sabíamos que estaba desarrollando esta solución, la aplicación para el teléfono, generamos una investigación también de cuáles eran esos componentes digitales que nos permitirían anclar. Y de entrada, antes de desarrollar algo, el que ha funcionado mientras podemos hacer eso es, por ejemplo, generar grupos de WhatsApp. Entonces, los grupos que toman una capacitación al mismo tiempo forman parte de un grupo en una red social que les es familiar a ellas, al menos en el caso de México. Y en ese sentido, también ellas mismas retroalimentan, después comparten cómo aplicaron el aprendizaje en casa o en algún otro espacio, y entonces se vuelve como un proceso de aprendizaje que excede el espacio, y eso nos permite también fortalecer algunas cosas. Y también reconocer el aprendizaje online es muy importante, ha sido muy importante hacer explícito con ellas mismas, que ellas mismas reconozcan y enuncien cómo los procesos de aprendizaje online han sido también una vía hacia la autonomía, ¿no? Por ejemplo, las experiencias que han sucedido es que una vez que toman las capacitaciones en línea, por ejemplo, hay algunas de ellas que han dicho que antes les daba miedo acercarse a un banco porque cómo iban a usar el cajero, ¿no? Y al haber aprendido una capacitación y a poder utilizar ciertos aparatos, ya también empiezan a interesarse por otras herramientas digitales más complejas o que abonan a otros procesos de desarrollo de ellas mismas, ¿no? Entonces, ese mismo reconocimiento también genera que ellas puedan compartir con otras compañeras y les acompañen en ese mismo proceso. Y digamos que ese como tejer redes nos ha permitido también fortalecer eso que a veces online se podría perder, ¿no? Que es el aspecto de interacción, que al menos en los países latinoamericanos, pero me imagino que también con todas ustedes, es sumamente importante para que la experiencia sea significativa y por ello sostenible muchas veces, ¿no? Entonces, diría eso a grandes rasgos como algunos de los aprendizajes principales, y pues abierta y feliz de seguir en contacto para seguir conversando.
Thank you. That's a really key point that you've brought up, which is the use of tools that women are already familiar with, and to build on that knowledge, to expand their digital literacy and to use other platforms like Calibri. And I wonder if we can quickly just turn to either Cameroon or Jordan. Perhaps Jordan, you could say a couple of words about your use of Calibri in the Oasis centres and the pros and the cons of using Calibri. Suhaib, I think I can see you there.
Okay, this is Suhaib from Arab Women Organization of Jordan. I will go through our presentation quickly. I will present our experience and the strong point about the online learning, and I will go through some of challenges faced us on the first phase. Through Second Chance education program, we found that the online learning environments are gender neutral and provide an equal environment, since the internet as a female technology in rural areas in Jordan, allowing the free exchange of information between women and our beneficiaries. Based on our experience during the first phase, we find the e-learning approach or online approach is more effective than the traditional learning approach for different reasons. The first reason is the e-learning is time and cost effective, and it can be easily used by women at their free time. Also, e-learning provides the freedom of learning, which is interactive and entertaining. Third reason, e-learning provides diversity of tools, including videos, images, text, etc. Fourth reason, e-learning sustains more than traditional learning because the content is available anytime for more one day, like traditional training. Also, the social media like WhatsApp groups, Twitter, Facebook pages has been providing female online learners with opportunities to share their concern, experience, and learning with their fellow learners and join self-help groups. A text-based online discussion may well suit women who are shy. I will now present some of challenges faced us on during the implementation of the first phase. First challenge, it's a poor of internet quality in one of targeted areas, which was solved by downloading the training content on offline server through Calibri content. Second challenge is the availability of their training topics or content based on the conducting training needs assessment. In the next phase, more content will be prepared and uploaded on the platform as online platform and offline server, as well as link the Calibri platform with other platforms and websites and applications. Some of beneficiaries, especially old women, don't have skills or knowledge to use the smartphone. We solved it through local facilitator. There have been playing a key role in supporting these women on how to use the smartphone and how to use the platform to entering to Calibri. Some women are illiterate, don't read and write women, and this can be solved by using photo, videos, and other tools through our contacts. For next phase, we will work on developing the new content we will focus on vocational trainings and economic skills. This content will build based on market needs and updating the women needs after pandemic through market study and needs assessment study. This is our intervention and our expert in Jordan, and I am happy to join you in this meetings, and we have a lot of experience from other countries. Thank you, Penny. Thank you all.
Thank you, Suhaib, for that very concise summary. I just want to quickly turn to Felipe and Valentina in Chile for their contributions. I'm sorry you only have 1.5 minutes each now before the interpreters leave us.
Buenos días, acá en Chile. Voy a dejar a Valentina la parte de Colibrí, que tienen una experiencia súper interesante con todo el desarrollo de contenido en Colibrí. En el caso de AYEP, que vemos una etapa que viene posterior a que han estado con Valentina y su equipo, donde nuestra experiencia tiene mucho que ver con sesiones online en vivo. Lo que hemos aprendido es que la importancia de la relación cara a cara es valiosísima y las mujeres la extrañan muchísimo, pero al mismo tiempo podemos aprender que las mujeres, que sí es posible establecer relaciones significativas por las vías online. No es restrictivo de establecer lazos, de que se pueda entregar contenidos importantes a través de esta vía, y eso ha sido un aprendizaje muy importante para nosotros. Sin embargo, no es posible replicar lo que se hacía en forma presencial de forma digital. Debe haber una adaptación, tal como lo comentaban en México. Se debe probar y se debe ver qué es lo que funciona mejor. No se puede traspasar completamente. Ya se ha hablado del tema de acceso a Internet y conocimientos digitales. Eso se repite en todas partes del mundo. No todas las mujeres pueden hacerlo, no todas las mujeres tienen acceso a las herramientas para hacerlo. Pero creo que lo más valioso como aprendizaje, y por el poco tiempo, es que es posible establecer esa relación significativa que las mujeres buscan estos programas, más allá de contenidos específicos. También hay una búsqueda de ese contacto humano que es posible entregar a través de esta vía. Para nosotros hemos visto que una gran oportunidad de esta forma de entregar conocimientos ha sido para las mujeres el poder estar en contacto con otras personas, otras mujeres de otros lugares geográficos de Chile, que normalmente no lo hubieran podido hacer, y como ya lo mencionaban también otros participantes, que para muchas mujeres esta es la posibilidad de acceder a programas de capacitación, incluso sin pandemia ni nada. Las responsabilidades que tienen en la casa o por situaciones de vulnerabilidad en que están, no pueden acceder a situaciones fuera de la casa. Y esto le ha permitido acceder a contenidos que de otra forma no hubieran podido hacerlo. Eso, doy mi palabra a Valentina.
Gracias. Me voy a agarrar de lo último que dijo Felipe para decir algo que nosotros ya hemos planteado internamente dentro del equipo de Second Chance Education de Chile, que es que en verdad creemos que el programa a futuro, con pandemia o sin pandemia, debiera sostener una línea que sea 100% virtual, porque eso permite el acceso a mujeres de zonas rurales o aisladas que de lo contrario nunca podrían acceder al programa. Solo agregar algunas cosas respecto al diseño de contenidos y de experiencia. Mucho de lo que otras personas han dicho nosotros también lo aprendimos, pero yo quisiera agregar como el foco de un diseño de contenido centrado en la mujer. ¿Sí? Muchas veces cuando queremos diseñar un taller, un workshop, lo que hacemos es pensar en los contenidos que queremos entregar. Y nosotros hemos hecho el ejercicio contrario. Todo el tiempo vamos pasando por el filtro de cuál es la experiencia que va a tener la mujer que va a vivir este taller o a mirar esta cápsula o este video programado. Y desde ahí hay que, en este desafío de incorporar presencialidad al online, que es algo que se puede, no estamos físicamente, pero estamos presentes, ¿sí? Hay muchos detalles o mecanismos que podemos incorporar, el uso de música, para generar un espacio emocional, para generar disposición emocional. Es algo imperceptible, pero que cambia 100% la experiencia. Permanentemente el generar diseños donde recurrentemente estemos volviendo a la mujer, digamos, a la participante, al estudiante, que tenga que escribir, hacerle una pregunta, que tenga que pensarla, decir su nombre en voz alta. Nosotros hemos trabajado permanentemente con lectura de chat, como son grupos de 60 mujeres, no podemos abrir micrófono para opinar, pero tenemos instancias donde, y cuando yo en el chat, si yo digo Elsa automáticamente vuelve a estar con nosotros. Y se vuelve a conectar. Entonces, el decir el nombre, el generar diversas instancias desde corporal. Nosotros virtualmente trabajamos corporalidad. Pónganse todos de pie y ahora les quiero pedir, y hacemos cosas corporales para que puedan vivir corporalmente esa sensación que queremos que vivan. Entonces, básicamente, hay mucho más, pero creo que si estamos todo el tiempo pensando en cómo lo va a vivir la mujer que viene a este taller, es difícil que nos equivoquemos y es muy fácil que ella pueda tener una experiencia de aprendizaje que sea efectiva. Es decir, no solamente que haya estado ahí, sino que se vaya con un aprendizaje que le sirva para la vida. Muchas gracias.
Thank you, Valentina. That's fantastic. I just want to mention also that over the coming year, we will be trying to pull together all these tips that you've accumulated in your different contexts and pull it together for guidance on online learning as part of the facilitator's guide. And that will go alongside the guidance that will be produced for the hub, setting up a hub for existing partners and for any new partners in the future. So I forgot that we do have the interpreters for another 30 minutes. So I know our time is up, but you are very welcome to stay if you do have the time. I just want to, because I appreciate we haven't heard from Cameroon yet or India in terms of the online experience. So I just want to allow a little bit of opportunity for them to talk about their experience of digital training in the challenging context of Cameroon, if they would like to input. So I don't know if Char or Yolande or Josephine would like to say something about the use of computers in the hubs in Cameroon and the challenges and how they've got around those challenges in Cameroon.
Déjà, merci de nous passer la parole. C'est vrai que l'utilisation des cours en ligne, le Cameroun a certaines réalités très différentes des autres pays et on essaye tant bien que mal de pallier à certaines difficultés. Nous avons des femmes qui veulent bien suivre la formation, seulement les zones enclavées ne permettent pas, les demandes sont là, mais l'enclavement ne permet pas aux femmes de venir jusqu'au centre pour pouvoir se former. Seules celles qui peuvent encore payer le transport pour venir, vu que toutes ces femmes n'ont pas la possibilité d'avoir les tablettes ou encore des téléphones Android, ce qui rend la formation en ligne vraiment très difficile ici au Cameroun. Donc, la volonté y est, seulement la précarité, le problème, l'extrême pauvreté, le territoire est assez vaste. Donc, la distance n'est pas assez négligeable pour venir suivre la formation. Et ce qui cause pour celles qui veulent bien être la volonté y est, mais elles sont absentéistes parce que le manque de moyens pour venir suivre la formation et même pour avoir le matériel adéquat pour rester sur place et suivre la formation n'est pas du tout facile. Mais néanmoins, on essaye tant bien que mal d'insérer ces formations en ligne-là pour surtout les bénéficiaires en couture parce qu'ici au centre où est exécuté le projet Seconde Chance, déjà nous avons sur place les bénéficiaires en couture. Elles ont la possibilité d'aller dans la salle d'informatique, suivre les cours de couture en ligne et faire même des recherches. Jusqu'ici, c'est ce que nous pouvons encore mener comme activité en ligne avec les bénéficiaires de couture. Mais qui t'a dit que certaines femmes ailleurs peuvent suivre en ligne les cours, c'est encore assez difficile avec le contexte du Cameroun. C'est très difficile. Mais mentionnons que les femmes suivent les cours, utilisent Colibri seulement en étant au centre. C'est très difficile de le faire étant chez soi. Pourtant, certains ont bel et bien la possibilité, la volonté de le faire. Je crois que c'est un véritable challenge pour nous que nous devons relever dans le futur. Comment est-ce que favoriser, comment est-ce que faciliter aux femmes de l'apprentissage en ligne. C'est un véritable challenge avec, je ne peux pas dire le retard, mais le contexte du Cameroun est très difficile.
Je peux ajouter subventionner la transport.
Là, je vais passer la parole à Serge, mon formateur en TIC, parce que lui aussi peut présenter certains challenges, certains...
Oui, merci. Déjà, il faut ajouter que le problème de connectivité, donc le problème d'Internet, n'est pas évident. Il y a des zones qui ne sont pas encore couvertes par Internet. Donc, même le réseau mobile n'atteint pas ces zones. Et déjà, ces femmes, quand elles se rapprochent du centre, il y a beaucoup qui sont intéressées, qui se connectent à travers celles qui ont les téléphones Android, elles se connectent. Elles viennent de temps en temps au centre pour des difficultés, pour résoudre certains problèmes, comment accéder à tel contenu, comment ouvrir telle formation. Alors, nous, on était en train de penser pour résorber d'une manière ou d'une autre ce genre de problème, à concevoir un peu des petits didacticiels, de telle manière que quand elles sont au centre, elles peuvent télécharger ça, comme on a la connexion sur place, elles téléchargent, mais à la maison, donc, elles peuvent ouvrir ça, même si elle n'est pas connectée, elle peut ouvrir en mode non connecté et consulter ce contenu qu'elle a téléchargé. C'est un peu comme ça qu'on peut résoudre dans le futur. Autre chose aussi, c'est que celles qui se déportent au centre, elles ont vraiment des villages qui partent des villages très lointains. Elles viennent arriver au centre, elles travaillent, mais vu la distance, elle est obligée de rentrer avant même de finir ce qu'elle est venue faire parce qu'elle doit se rendre très loin. Les moyens de locomotion aussi font des défauts. Et donc, il y a aussi ça, le problème de transport pour la fréquence. Elles sont bien motivées, mais il y a un problème de déplacement, il y a un problème de matériel, d'outils de travail et surtout la connectivité en termes d'Internet. Je crois que si on résout le problème des déplacements, pour celles qui sont volontaires, on peut par exemple organiser des forums de telle manière qu'on peut descendre dans une localité. On descend dans une localité, la zone qui n'est pas couverte avec notre connexion, on peut organiser des forums, réunir les femmes et puis on leur fait des cours sur place avec notre matériel parce qu'on est quand même outillé, on a des vidéoprojecteurs, on peut projeter un temps là, on projette un temps de manière temporaire et les femmes là, elles pourront avoir la possibilité de télécharger sur le champ dans leur téléphone les contenus de Colibri. Après, on se déporte dans une autre localité et celles qui auront des difficultés pourront maintenant se rabattre en temps différé au centre pour compléter ce qu'elles n'ont pas eu. Je crois que c'est un peu ce qu'on pourrait ajouter comme contribution. Et il y a Madame Yolande aussi qui a une autre contribution à apporter.
Et comme je le disais tantôt, on essaye d'intégrer la formation en ligne dans les activités qui sont déjà implémentées. En agriculture, par exemple, nous organisons des petits ateliers où on projette des cours de la formation, comment est-ce que la formation théorique se passe dans les autres zones avant de se déporter dans les sites pour pratiquer. Ce qui permet aux femmes qui n'ont pas été à l'école, qui ne peuvent lire le français ou bien parler, de visualiser au moins les techniques agricoles et d'élevage avant d'aller appliquer sur le terrain. Donc, c'est un peu comme ça que pour le moment, nous utilisons les formations en ligne pour faciliter les activités sur l'apprentissage des bénéficiaires sur le terrain. Merci.
Thank you very much, Yolande and Serge, for sharing your experience in Cameroon. I just wanted to mention on the subject of connectivity and being offline, that Calibri can be set up in centres for using offline servers, which they've done with some success in Mexico. So again, that doesn't solve the problem of travel to the centres, but at least where connectivity is unreliable or doesn't, or there is no connection, then Calibri resources can, and the system can be made available offline. I also just wanted to mention that we are hoping to trial the use of a app which can be used on mobiles, which is designed for use on mobiles, and where lessons can be downloaded for use offline. It's called EdApp, and it's the lessons are designed in a way that could suit marginalized and semi-literate women, in that they are very highly chunked lessons, very short, it can be made very visual. So yeah, watch this space in terms of being able to maybe try out the use of this app in your own context. Well, picking up again on the offline connectivity issues, I don't know if anyone has experience of sharing devices or loaning devices to women, tablets or phones even. I don't know if, do I remember something like that happening in Mexico, where women are loaned tablets for a period where they can use them at home? Or am I dreaming that?
Hola, ¿qué tal? Sí hubo una experiencia tal vez un poco pequeña, pero hicimos una campaña de recaudación de fondos con una universidad local para la compra de tablets. Y mi compañera Saraí es quien en realidad llevó a cabo ese programa, pero lo que sé, grosso modo, es que se pretendía comprar unas decenas de tablets para, digamos, usarlas como préstamo para que las mujeres pudieran continuar con su desarrollo educativo durante pues, la pandemia, cuando estaba todo súper confinado, ¿no? Entonces, sí hubo esa estrategia por ahí, solo que creo que quien podría platicar un poco más a detalle sería Saraí, mi compañera, que no sé si continúe aquí.
Yeah, I think she might have had to leave, understandably. Well, thank you for that. It's Mario, isn't it? Thank you for that input. Now, I think at this stage, I know I haven't turned to India for the second round. I don't know if someone from India wanted to give a short input on the subject of online learning. I know we heard a little bit from Monisha before. Otherwise, I will open it out to see if there are any further questions.
My colleague Anil will speak. Sorry, Penny.
Okay, thank you, Monisha.
Anil?
Hello, Anil. Can
you hear us?
Yes. Are you there, Anil?
Hello.
Hello, the audio isn't coming through. I think we're having a connection problem with.
Maybe, yeah. So may I request then my colleague Deepak to come in and talk about how we use Colibri in context of India. Deepak, can you quickly come in and say a few words about it? But you have to be really brief because I think the session is running out of time.
It is.
So Deepak,
we are running
please.
out of. Thank you.
Yes, yes. So Deepak, please, if you can come in. Deepak, can you hear us?
Hi. Yeah, hi. This is Deepak from India.
Deepak, thank you. Go ahead. Yes, you are audible. Thank you. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the chance for speaking. So on behalf of India, so I'm very grateful, and I will not take much time. Actually, when Colibri launched, we were very excited that our learners who are from remote area will get a chance to learn without any study material, matlab hard copy. They will not use hard copies, and they can learn with smartphones. But when we
Hello, Deepak, are you still there?
Connectivity. Deepak, have you, I think.
I think.
He has also lost connectivity.
Yes.
Deepak, can you hear us? Or anybody? Yeah.
Yes. So with Vikas from India. See, technology, digital learning is future, and recently we have experienced this, and those who never learn this through traditional systems even, and they have come on Zoom classes and attending. Now we have future for learning management system. Content will be there, self-learning modes and interactive sessions will be there. So this has been the first COVID period learnings, and then we are improving on those technologies. We have already put it learning management system, and job roles and technical contents are there. Regarding the Colibri, we do not have such bandwidth actually. It's remote geographies are there, very remote geographies are there. So connectivity bandwidth is the issue. So we can see this where 2G, 3G networks can consume and run the system. So at this moment, this is a challenge, but in future, yes, this will be another opportunity solution for that. Yes. And one more thing, this by using these technologies, Zoom classes or smartphone learning through smartphones, this confidence level of the girls is improving. So all women candidates are feeling more confident, and they are learning more and more on this side. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well, we are well over time, and I just want to say thank you to all of you for participating and for staying on after the session. It's this session is going to be available because it's being recorded afterwards. So do feel free to try and catch it on YouTube. It's been amazing to hear about your experiences, and there are lots of common themes emerging in the areas of grabbing opportunities, in creating small businesses in the context of the pandemic, and also in the area of online learning and all the strategies that you've developed to try and support women, marginalized, semi-literate women to engage in the digital world. And as I say, we will, over the coming years, try and pull together these experiences and share them in a very practical way to make them the most of the good practices that you've developed across the countries. And yes, as usual, we would encourage you to connect on Attendify or in any other way to be able to learn more about each other's experience in different areas. But thank you again. Thank you to the interpreters. Let's stay in touch and learn more from each other. Thank you so much.